welcome to It's a Fandom Thing. And keep your fingers crossed that we don't lose Aaron A.
My internet hates me.
So, fingers crossed. But we are continuing our Pride Month celebration with a discussion about the L Word Generation Q. This was a brand new show for me. I'd watched the L Word. We covered the L Word during our first Pride Month 2 years ago. Up front, I will say I'm not a big fan of the L Word. I will be honest. I liked this a lot more. So I was happy about that. But I know Aaron A is a big fan of this show. So I'm very happy to have Aaron on with me to discuss this. But before we get into that, and if you do join the live stream, also just to let you know, there I did put the bingo card in the comment section. So feel free to play along. I forgot to print one, so I'm just going to trust you on what we've mentioned or haven't mentioned if you do play along. So, but before we get into all things the L word, Generation Q, I should specify. Aaron, what are you into right now in pop culture?
I am super into related things. I guess this is gonna be a long story. Yesterday, I spent all day at the very first ever Adams County Pride celebration here in the Denver area, and it was amazing. My work had a booth, so it was really fun. And then in the evening, there was a concert, and that is super what I'm into right now. I am totally still obsessed with Vincent and Todrick Hall. They both performed, and they were both glorious. I love them so much. It was such a good show. It was a great way to end the day, and we had so much fun. And Chrissy, who's on every once in a while too, she was there with me. We went to the concert together, and we had so much fun. And she got to go on stage.
Oh,
Oh my
that's
god, she got
awesome.
to go on stage and dance with Vincent. I thought she was gonna die, but it was so great. She knew every word to every song, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was so fun, and they are amazing performers. They're so good.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad you got to do that. And music is always a welcome recommendation on here. We actually in the past couple of weeks have been getting a lot of music recommendations, which is nice because we don't always get those. So yeah. And what I'm into, well, I mean, is kind of music related. I went and did karaoke the other night, and we did karaoke for 3 hours. Okay,
Oh my god.
in a private room, 3 hours of karaoke. I didn't sing the whole time. I was worried the next day that I wasn't gonna have a voice, but I did, luckily, because we were recording an episode. Um, but it was so much fun to go and to see a bunch of fellow panelists and just have I don't do a lot of stuff that's not podcast related during my free time. In fact, every second of my free time usually is for the podcast. So it was nice to actually do something fun like that to sing. I'm not saying I'm a good singer because I'm not, but I had a blast just singing at the top of our lungs and yeah, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, 3 hours of karaoke. Towards the last 10-20 minutes, I was like, okay,
Oh my god.
this is enough.
Oh my gosh, that's so yeah. I wish I could have gone. I was doing
Yeah.
work things in preparation for yesterday. I was worried about my voice too because we did a lot of screaming last night. I probably sound terrible.
No, you sound fine. But yeah. Okay, well, let's get into the L word Generation Q. And I was just going to go over a little bit of like, I mean, this is basically picks up like, how many years later is it from the last one? I was trying to find, I should have had that written down. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, I think was it 2008? See, now I totally didn't do my homework either. I think the original show was 2002 to 2008 or 10, right? I think it was 2008.
I only watched it in preparation for the podcast, honestly, not the first one. I really because I tried to watch it when it was first on because I remember it started pretty much right after Queer as Folk ended, which Queer as Folk ended in
Mhm.
2005.
Okay, yeah, this is now I'm looking 2004 to 2009.
Okay. Okay. So this is let me do math here. It's basically like a decade later.
It's too early. I can't do math.
And it's some of the returning cast, like some of the you've got Bet and Shane and Alice and Tina shows up later and stuff. So it's some of the returning cast, but then there's a lot of the younger generation joining. So you've got a lot of new characters as well in this cast. So and a little bit more representation, I think, a little bit broader representation, I will say. So what are your overall thoughts then on this series? And do you like one more than the other, Erin?
I do. I really like this series. I was not expecting to like it so much because I love the original as well. Um, I don't, I didn't watch it live. I started watching season 1 towards like the end of the series, so I never caught up enough to watch it live. But I did get to sort of binge watch it. It's got a very soap opera-y feel to it, and it was kind of like my soap opera because at the time I was working from home, so I would get to watch like 8 episodes in a day during the day while I was working. So the original was very dear to me, and I loved it, and I was kind of uh, like, you can't reboot this. This is gonna be terrible. I'm gonna hate it. But then I saw that Kate Mowing was in it, and I love Shane. She's one of my favorite characters from the original. So I was like, okay, well, I'll watch that. Um, and then I saw that Jamie Clayton was in it, who I also just adore. I fell in love with her in Sense8, which is a fantastic limited series on Netflix. So those two kind of convinced me that I would watch it, and I love it. I was not super thrilled to see like, oh, gross, like millennials, being a millennial myself, but I just did not want to see that. But I really like it. I think it's good, and it has a lot of the original feel from the original show. Um, all of the drama and then some of the original show. And I like the new generation and that there is some of I don't want to say old generation because they're not old, but you know what I mean.
Original.
Original. The originals. They're not old. We're not old,
The
okay?
OGs, the original generation.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really like the show and I'm glad it got renewed. I just saw like last week they started filming season 3 and so there's little sneak peeks and behind the scenes photos all over Twitter and stuff from filming. So that's really exciting too.
Well, like I said, I was new to this one. So, and I was not a big fan of the L word. And, I would think I was really nice to it on our podcast episode because my other panelist was a huge fan and the show meant a lot to her. So I kind of held back a little bit. I've gotten worse about that as far as like being nice. Erin can testify that with Gilmore Girls. And that is one of our most popular podcast episodes. And I'm always like, they probably hate me, everyone that listens to that one, because I'm not a fan of that one. So I was kind of like, okay, we should cover this, but I'm dreading watching this. I was putting this off for as long as I possibly could, to be quite frank. But then I started it and I do like it a lot. I do like I said, I think and it was the same thing with Queer as Folk too. The original can be criticized the same way that Queer as Folk could, which is I mean, there was a little bit more diversity on the original L Word than Queer as Folk say. Wasn't just
Little,
white, but not that much exactly. And they had some transphobia issues and stuff like that on the original one and very criticized for that too. So this one I was happy to see that there were, that there's trans actors, there's, it's not just white. you know they once again I'd forgotten that they already had Alice is bi, so having some more of that and then also exploring other avenues of relationships too was nice to see. And I don't know, I just liked this one more, and I think it's because there were certain people that were missing, even though I am not a fan of Bets. I will say that right now. I do not like her at all. I kind of hate her. I kind of despise her.
Agreed.
But what's her name? Jenny or whatever. She she's dead, so she's not on here.
I'm okay with that.
And I'm very happy about that. I think that was my biggest issue with the original one. That character was obnoxious beyond obnoxious.
She was,
So,
yes, the
and
worst.
I don't think anyone really liked that character
Yeah,
anyway.
that was, like, the point probably, but oh my god.
But yeah, so I think because it's kind of a small, and I like Shane and Alice, so then I can handle having Bet there because those 2 are there and they're also a primary focus. So I was okay with the returning cast, and then I like a lot of the new cast, most of the new cast, and I just think it's interesting, and I will probably continue to watch it when I have the time once the new season comes, whenever that will be. But yeah, and I literally finished the season 2 finale like about an hour ago, so
Nice.
so it's pretty fresh in my mind. Okay, so like I said, you do have some of the returning cast. I mean, the main ones you do have are Bet, Shane, and Alice. And like I said, Tina comes in a little bit, but she's not really like she's been more prevalent in season 2 than she was, you know. So it's
Mhm.
like, but she's still not, I wouldn't say like there all the time. So do you like how they have the returning cast incorporated with the new cast? Like you have some of the new cast working on Alice's show, for instance, and then you have some of the new
Mhm.
cast working in the bar that Shane opens, and then also working for Bet. So do you like how they incorporated it? And is there a member that you wish would return from the original cast?
Yeah, I love it. I like the way that they did this, that they didn't just completely reboot the show from scratch, that they brought in, um, some of the original cast. Like I said, Shane, I think, is my favorite, from the original show. So I'm so glad that she came back, and I love her storyline of how she's, like, married, well, divorced now, um, and that was just so great, and we can kind of see how all of them matured, I guess, and it's like a great, whenever your favorite show ends, you always wonder like what happened to them, and so this gave us that. Alice is not my favorite person, but I can deal with her. Uh, I just can't. She's like so kind of oblivious and like sometimes I just like really why. So it's okay. I know she's there, and I like the interactions that she has uh, with Shane, and Bet, and that she's there for them. And it's just funny to see her trying to be like this weird stepmom, and she's so awkward with the kids, and that seems perfect for a self-absorbed person doesn't understand the concept of children. So, and Bet again, yeah, I agree with you on Bet. She's not exactly my favorite person. She seems like the one that has not changed like one bit. She's still the same person she was before, and that's also kind of perfect for the storyline, I think. Um, I like how the newer generation is kind of they've all come into sort of the same like family circle, I guess, that they're all kind of taking care of each other. One of my favorite parts is the very beginning whenever Shayna's in her brand new apartment. There's like no furniture there yet or anything, and Finley brings something over to her, and she's like complaining about how she lives with 5 girls in this one apartment, and she's like, well, if you ever need a place to crash, she's like, really? And then so like the next day she just lives there.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I love the interactions that they have, and that they're kind of uh, trying to impart some of their wisdom on this younger generation who's just got to like figure it out for themselves, and all of the different challenges. Like it is a totally different time than 10, 15 years ago whenever we saw these people first, and it's really interesting to see the new stuff and how they're coping with this new sort of generation uh, in LA.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't like Bet. I think she is an egotistical, self-absorbed ass, frankly. I cannot stand her. I just, oh, she's icky to me. I mean, I think Jennifer Beals does a fantastic job. It's nothing against her. I just don't like this character. She's just so snobby and self-entitled and acts like she's above everybody else.
Mhm.
And I don't like that. That's why it's so funny when you say that about Alice, because I think of Bet like that, and I don't think of Alice like that so much. I guess I can kind of see it, but I don't know. I just like
Yeah.
Alice. I think she's adorable. I don't know. I just have always really liked her
I
character.
think Alice tries harder. Like, Alice wants to be a good person, like, she wants to take care of, like, her girlfriend's kids and stuff, she just doesn't know how. Like, Bet just, like she's like, "This is me. This is what I'm doing, like, deal with it," and just wants to be in charge all the time, and Alice at least tries to be a good person and tries to see the other side of things, where Bet, I think, is just like, "No."
Yeah, it's Bet is right and everybody else is wrong.
Yeah.
That's the way Bet
And
is, and that's why I don't like her.
she's still a terrible girlfriend, she's still a terrible, like, person in general. Like, leave Tina alone, let her live her life, oh my god. Let this poor lady move on. She like, stop just she just I hate the way she treats Tina, and
Yeah.
Tina's so nice and so sweet, and I love her, and I just look, why do you keep messing with this poor woman? Just let her live her life. And that's a part of Beth that makes me really angry too, so
Well, and it's very much I think her thinking is because Tina is engaged to marry somebody else. I think her whole thought is if she doesn't I don't even think she necessarily even wants Tina. I think she wants Tina to only want her and to only be her with her and only have her as the center of attention. And then the second Tina doesn't, then that's threatening to Bet. So then she's going to
Mhm.
try and ruin her life. And that to me is so selfish and so self-absorbed. That's the way I view
Yeah.
her and that whole relationship.
It's all about control, especially
Yes.
in having control over Tina, and,
Yes.
like, you had your chance, you got divorced, you don't have any say over her life anymore, just leave her alone.
Mhm. Yeah, that's I mean, that's I think what really, really bothers me about her. Oh, was there anyone you wanted to see come back?
Um, yes. I would love to see Jodie come back because I love Marlee Matlin, and I think especially if they're embracing all of the diversity, she would be fantastic. I would love to see what happened to her. I want her to be like some big famous artist. I feel like they would have mentioned it already if she was, but she was amazing at the original show, and I think she would be so great. And I know whenever like it was announced that they were going to make Generation Q, that she had mentioned something about like she would be open to the fact of coming back on. So that is my dream. I hope she comes back because I love her. I'm also kind of really, I'll just mention, I'm really sad that Kit didn't return. I understand the reasonings why. I'm sure Pam Grier was, she's kind of very selective about what she does now. But I really liked Kit, and I'm really kind of sad that they just killed her off, which was kind of ridiculous. I
Yeah.
get it serves a purpose of the story and it gives Bet drive and whatever, but I liked Kit and I would have liked to see her come back too, but for sure I'd like to see Jodie.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have anyone I'm going to necessarily name. I was just curious for yours, but I do like those. And yeah, I thought that was kind of weird and kind of a weird way to treat that character, honestly, and to kind of just
Mhm.
kill her off. It was kind I mean, yes, it serves a purpose, but I think they could have done that without killing her.
Right.
I mean, really, you
She
could have
went
done that in a
retired.
lot of
She
different
lives
ways.
yeah, she lives on a farm in Colorado or whatever.
Yeah, and
Like,
you can give Bet motivation in other ways. It doesn't have to be the
right.
death of somebody. That to me was kind of like a cheap ploy in a way. I don't
Yeah.
know, a cheap plot line there. I didn't really like that. So I agree. If they could retcon that.
Can we fix this somehow? Or like I wouldn't even mind just some flashbacks just so I can see her. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Pam Grier is amazing and she's well, we're in Colorado. She's like a little bit more famous here than other places, I think. But fun fact, my husband met her one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a couple years ago. He said she was the nicest person.
I that does not surprise me. I would have been shocked if she wasn't. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. So there's a big new cast here, and I'll just go over some of them. So, some of the characters. So you've got Danny, played by Ariane Mandy. I know I'm going to butcher all these names. I probably shouldn't even be saying their names because I'm butcher them. Sophie, played by Rosanny Zayas. Sarah Finley, or she goes by Finley. So Jacqueline Toboni. See, I tell you, I should not even be trying this. I'm gonna try just doing the first names. No, I'll just keep going. Micah Lee, played by Leo Shang. Gigi, I can't pronounce Gigi's last name. See, I'm so bad at this. I should get better at this. Played by Sepidai Mofi. Um, and Angie, who is Tina and Bet's daughter, played by Jordan Hall. Tess, which Aaron already mentioned, Jamie Clayton. And you've got Jillian Mercado, played by, or Jillian Mercado plays Maribel. Then you've got Nat, who is dating Alice, played by Stephanie Aline. I probably was pronouncing that too. And I know I'm forgetting other people. And then also got Donald Faison playing Tom, who I love
I
him.
love him.
I
It's
love
so
him
good.
no matter what. I have always loved him. And it was so nice to see him pop up. And I like this character and this performance. And he becomes involved with Alice too. And then Vanessa Williams playing Pippa Pascal, who is an artist that was a big inspiration for Bet, and Bet does her best to use her, in my opinion. I don't know.
God,
I hate
right?
that storyline. It's like she goes to get Pippa out of retirement and have her do this whole show, has sex with her, and kind of just uses her, I think, to bolster herself and to make herself look like, I don't know, like a good person.
Yes.
Like she's very woke. That's the way it came off to me. It was just like, I don't know, it was the way it was handled just bothered me. But anyway, so do you and like I said, there's more representation. I mean, we have a disabled actor playing a disabled character, and this character is given a full life, gets to have a sex scene, gets to have all this. That's incredible, I want to say. Amazing. You've got, trans actor playing trans character. You've got that is very, very nice to see. And I was happy to see more of that. You've got more, representation as far as not just a mainly white cast. So that was good too. So what are your thoughts overall on the new cast? And do you have a favorite of character?
I agree. I like the diversity and the fact that it's just this is them. It's not trying to make a point out of any of them. It's not trying to draw attention to, oh, look at how good we're being.
Mhm.
It's just like this is the character, this is their life. Like, we acknowledge. One of my favorite lines is Micah and Maribel are in the kitchen doing something, and Micah tries to do something for her, and she like yells at him. She's like, "Stop!" She's like, "If I
Mhm.
can't do something, I'll tell you." And it's one like a little thing. They didn't make a big deal about it, but it's important to see stuff like that. And she talks about sometimes the challenges that she has. And so I like, yes, that there's diversity, but it's not like I don't know how to describe it. It's not uncomfortable. It's not like they're trying to force it. It's just part of the story, and they're not like making a stunt out of it. I think it's really they found these characters and they can build a life around these characters without having to like make it weird.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not tokenism.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like actual characters who are given like a full
Hmm.
storyline, and they're not there to just be like, oh, look at us,
Yeah.
we did this, we're so ahead of the time, we're
Hmm.
so diverse, we're amazing. It's
Yeah.
more, this is the character. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, and I love that everybody kind of has their own story. There's no like half characters really that I can think of. Everyone's kind of like a full person. I like that they're giving more time to Micah and Maribel's relationship because I think they're really cute. That's
Mhm.
how they kind of were friends, and then it kind of grew into something, and Micah was kind of torn, and it was just really sweet. I love whenever they go horseback riding. That's just so cute. They're a great relationship. I like most of the new cast, with the exception of Danny. I think Danny is very Bet-like.
Really? Hmm.
She
Yeah.
she's yeah, reminds me a lot of Bet, of kind of uh, bossy and a little bit entitled, but she doesn't want to be, but she benefits greatly from what she's been given and doesn't seem to realize that sometimes,
Mhm.
that some people don't have the advantages that you have. And I never understood why her and Sophie were together. Some that is one of the greatest scenes of all time, is when Finley walks into their wedding. You're just like, no, don't stop, don't just turn around and leave. Like, please don't say anything. No, stop talking. Like, it is one of
That
the most
was
stressful scenes.
that was awful in
Oh
a lot
God,
of
it was so
reasons.
uncomfortable. And like, why are you not leaving? Just turn around and be like, oh, wrong room, and leave or something.
Wrong room.
This isn't where I parked my car. Like,
Or
just
just
go.
sit down and be like, "I was
Right?
trying to make it here in time for your wedding, and
Exactly.
I'm just gonna sit here and"
Like, not the time, Finley. So not the time. Oh, it's so great. And then when Danny punched her, it was pretty perfect also.
Yes,
But
I
oh my
agree.
gosh, that was one of the most uncomfortable and stressful scenes I've ever watched. But I'm glad that they're not married, I suppose. Because I didn't think they were great together. I think Finley is probably my favorite character though. She's just so she's outgoing and funny and sweet, but you can tell there's other stuff kind of under the surface that she's masking.
Mhm.
Especially like you can tell when she calls her dad and stuff like that. Um, I really makes me sad, the storyline that she got in season two, and it kind of, I mean, it's totally understandable that she's trying to deal with all of this stuff and using alcohol to do that. It seems totally like realistic, but it just kind of makes me sad because she's so sweet and she deserves the world, I think. Um, so hopefully next season things will be brighter for her. I'm hoping. Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of going down my list. I agree. I love Tom. I think he's great. I
I
know he's
love
such a
him.
small character, but
I love him.
I him and Alice together are just so cute. The little back and forth and the banter they have and stuff. And I kind of really love that storyline with Alice of, she's like, great, now I got to come out as a bisexual again.
Mhm.
Um, so that'll be really interesting to kind of see how the world reacts to that. But I think they're really great together. And the big cliffhanger at the end of season two, when she finds the ring,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta know it's. Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
sure she'll screw it up because that's what she does. But she'll do something weird. She'll make it awkward. Like that's
Wow.
Alice. Make it weird. That's what she does. Um, but let's see. I'm going down my list. I like Gigi and Danny together. I think they are a much better fit for each other than Sophie and Danny, or Gigi and Bet. They would have been okay together too. I feel like because they're both kind of those like high powered, very serious woman thing.
Mhm.
Um, but Gigi and Danny, I think that makes me like Danny more when she's with Gigi. I don't know how,
Yeah.
but somehow those two together seem really nice for each other. And I did like the storyline of Micah and Jose in season one, and then just the way that all unraveled was just heartbreaking. I felt, terrible for Micah, and like, come on, Jose, who treats someone like that? It's just terrible, but I like the way that was going, then that kind of all exploded really fast. Is that all I got? And then one more thing, I'll stop talking.
No, it's fine.
I've got a very long list
We've
here.
got really good time here,
Right,
so it's
right?
fine.
I thought I wasn't prepared, and now I'm just gonna start
I know.
rambling. I do like Angie. I think she is adorable and probably the most mature person of this whole group of people.
I agree.
This like 40-year-old teenager, she's like so mature and so smart and like very reasonable about things. And I like that we're seeing more of her. And again, like they just give everybody heartbreaking stories, and I know that's like the point of this show is to like make you cry. But it's so sad that she didn't get to meet her donor before he died. But it's really
Yeah.
nice that she's got that sort of, I don't know, sort of half sister that she's connecting with. And whenever she brought that list of all the questions Angie had for him, and all of the family members had answered the questions, like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. That's just the sweetest thing. So I'm glad that she has that. And she's just, I like seeing her story and watching her mature. And her and Jordy are really cute together, I think. Going to the prom and dancing at the prom is so just fun and wholesome. She's a very sweet, wholesome person on this show. She's the only good one. She can
The
do no
only
wrong.
good one.
She can do no wrong. I love her.
Only I will say with Jordy, she was kind of, although she's a teenager, she was kind of acting like a selfish little brat for a while there, I will say. Kind of not a very good
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah, teenage girls, man, they're the worst.
They are, but then that what are they called when they do the singing, dancing promposals? Are they called
yeah.
the promposal?
That was really
Man, I'm
cute.
glad that didn't exist when I was in high
It's
school.
so awkward, right? I would have died of embarrassment. Oh my God.
And then it would probably be embarrassing if you didn't get one too, because everybody's
Right.
getting them, and so you're kind of expecting one that if you don't get one, or you
Oh
get
my
asked just
God.
a standard way, and you're supposed to get a promposal, and then
Right? I
I don't
wasn't that
know.
popular, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't well, I went to a different kind of school, like I've said before, so I don't even know if they would have done everyone at my school, prom every year was for everybody, so it wasn't you didn't have
Oh,
like,
nice.
you know, so so I don't know if they would have even done I don't know if they're doing promposals at the high school I went to, but it's just so weird because like I've said, I don't like public proposals. So this is like setting up that I guess everything
Mhm.
needs to be done in public now or something. I don't
Right?
know.
That's what I'm so scared for with Tom and Alice, that he's gonna try and make it weird and propose to her in some public place, and then
I hope not.
that's what I picture. And then she starts doing her rambling thing, and
Yeah.
gosh, I hope not.
Well, you know what I like about his character a lot, I want to say, is he never has a moment. I mean, it takes him a moment to realize that she likes him, when she first is like, you want to dance with me? And it's like, okay, who are we making jealous? Then she's like, no, I want to dance with
He's
you.
the
I
best
like it.
wingman.
Yes, yes. But I like that he isn't at all like, he's not a gross heterosexual male who's like, gets off on the fact that she's bisexual or thinks of it like, okay, you're bi, so maybe we'll have a threesome kind of crap that you might see from other shows or other men. And I
Mhm.
really like that. He's very accepting, and he doesn't have that toxic masculinity in him of like, I don't know, feeling threatened. Yes, he gets upset when he finds out that she was sleeping with Cat, but that was understandable. That wasn't about the fact that, it was a woman, and it wasn't anything like that. It was the fact that he felt hurt and rejected, and he really likes her. I mean,
Mhm.
I think he liked her even like before she even started liking him. I mean, the whole scene where they go and let the lobsters free in in the
So
ocean,
cute.
so cute.
They're like, "Did we take the rubber bands off?"
I know. I was watching that too. That was my thought too. First, when they start doing like the rubber bands, they're gonna die.
Oh
But it
god.
was so cute, and he was so cute when you first see him, he's like, "I really need some gum," and he goes there, and Finley's got, like, that huge display of gum, and he's just like, "You're doing so great. Can I take this one and this one
Can
and
I
this
have
one?"
2? What?
It was so cute, and I just really like him, and Donald Faison is just he's so good. He's just so good, and he's got great timing, and he's got great chemistry with Alice, so, they've got really good chemistry, and so I appreciated that, and I appreciated that the show, explored that and explored Alice being like, "Okay, so," and having her saying, "I'm gonna have to come out as bi again," and exploring a little bit of that where she said she hadn't had a relationship with a man since she was in her 20s. So dealing with that of going, kind of questioning how that relationship will look, how it will look to the public, and that kind of thing. So that was an interesting storyline to see explored there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think he's so great, and I agree. I like the fact that they didn't make him like a weird, creepy
Yeah.
guy from the very beginning. He was helping her write the book, and he was like there to support her, and she was the focus. And he never asked like inappropriate
Mm-mm.
questions. He never made it weird or uncomfortable. And I give credit to the writers for that too, because they could have gone that way so easily because so many other shows use that.
Yeah.
Uh, just for lazy writing, I guess, because he would have been in and out so fast. Like, oh, here's another creepy straight dude. Like, we're done with him. So he's really great. And those two together, the banter they have perfect timing with each
They
other.
do.
So good.
They really do. I think, I was really glad something happened there because I was hoping that it would actually. I was like, "Oh, this is a cute matchup." Because I wanna say I don't like the character Cat at all. I think she's kind of I don't know, there's something weird about her. I cannot put my finger on it. She kind of, makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, she kind of, what is it? What is it about her? She's just got this weird vibe to her,
Mhm.
and I don't like her, and I didn't really get her relationship with Alice. It didn't seem like either one of them until a little bit in season 2, and they'd have a few moments, like either one of them really liked each other. They seemed to really be sexually attracted to each other and desire each other, but they didn't seem to like each other. Like I think Alice and Gigi liked each other a lot more than Alice and Kat
Right.
did, frankly.
That was a great, really kind of just hilarious relationship. Be Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know. I would love to see how I don't think it ever explained how her and Nat got together, right? It just
No, I
like
don't think it
started
did.
out with them living together with the kids. Yeah,
Mhm.
they don't seem like a great pair. Um, and it was
Mm.
pretty great the way that Alice and Gigi started getting along so well when they had a rough start.
Yeah, and then they tried to have a throuple, and then they
Yeah.
tried to do that, and the whole scene when they go when they go to the play or to the was it a yeah, it was a play. When they go to the play and they're sitting there both holding hands and they're not sure and there's a lot of jealousy there, and this isn't necessarily something any of them I don't think really understood what they were doing and, very much illustrated that you should have a real talk about that, and I think they were trying
Mhm.
to, but weren't sure on that. I think it was mainly Alice, I don't think really felt completely comfortable in that situation. Kat, even though that was what was so interesting is Kat seemed to really want that, but she also seemed extremely possessive at the same time. I don't know, that's
Yeah.
what I don't like about her is she seems very possessive and very, like, detached emotionally. She doesn't seem quite there completely emotionally.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much, but that's the way she always kind of came across to me as kind of removed from the whole situation.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm not a fan of hers at all. Um, I like most of the rest of the cast. I don't really, Danny. I go back and forth on. I felt really bad for her during her wedding, though. That was horrible. That was
Yes.
horrible. What a.
Who
I
does that to
mean,
somebody? That's just
That
oh
was that was
god.
awful. I felt so bad for her, and I do like Finley, but Finley deserved that punch. That
No,
was
yeah,
that
totally.
was very deserved.
Totally, yes. Oh my god, yes.
And Finley is the most impulsive of all of these characters, and she just totally follows her heart, and so she kind of doesn't always think about the repercussions. And I do think it's funny that she just kind of just took Shane's little invitation of I've got some spare too. Oh, okay, I'm
Living here
living
now.
with you. Yeah.
She like signs for a package. She's like,
I
"Look, see, I'm
know.
pulling my weight. Like, what are you doing here?" I
Yeah.
love her confidence. She's just like all in with everything, all of the time.
Yeah.
Just 100% in. She's great.
Mhm. She is. I will say I was worried when the show first started that she was gonna end up trying to go after Shane, because it seemed at
Mhm.
first I was like, "I wonder if she's gonna try and do that," and I'm so glad they didn't do that, and I'm so glad it
Yeah.
wasn't like that, and that my initial thought was wrong. So I'm glad that didn't happen, and I really, like Tess and Shane together. I think that's a really good match there, and I think
Mhm.
Tess is a really interesting character, and she's, the acting, the actress is very, 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 very good, very good. And I just think she's an interesting character for Shane, because I think they are the most compatible, not compatible, compatible. I don't know. They seem to really complement each other,
Mhm.
and I like their dynamic and their chemistry together too. So I think I like that character a lot. Um, Sophie, I like Sophie a lot. And it's weird because I love Finley and I love Sophie, but I'm still not totally sold on their relationship, and I don't know why. I like them a lot as friends. It was just I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
after the wedding, they should not that should have been the end of it. I think I agree. I don't like the relationship really. There's just too much there, and Sophie seems to be just doing it because of what happened, that, she ruined her whole life for Finley, so she's gotta be with Finley now,
Yeah.
kinda feels like.
Yeah, I get that vibe too. And then there's just something about it that I'm not really on board with. And yeah. It's just kind of it felt I don't know. I don't know. I felt like I think Finley really, really loves Sophie, and I think Sophie, like you said, is kind of going along with it. I think Sophie got wrapped up in the moment, and it's just the karaoke song, and she sings their song, which is sweet. But at the same time, I'm sitting there like, seriously, you're gonna do this when you know your ex fiance is sitting out there, and you're gonna sing that? That to me felt a little bit like pouring salt in
Yeah.
the wound. I mean, that was
Yeah,
kind of
she doesn't
weird.
make the best decisions, but
I was
it's
like, you could have at least gone and done that in private, or waited to do something like that when Danny's not there. That to me, I was kind of like, this is a little bit harsh. You
or
have
just,
your
like, don't do it at all and move on with your life and leave Finley alone.
well, that
That's
too,
an
but
option. Finley will be fine. That's the thing. Finley will bounce back. She would have been fine, and her life probably would have been better without Sophie. She probably wouldn't be in rehab right now if it wasn't for Sophie.
well, I don't know. I'm not gonna go that far because
I think so, because Sophie, she knows that she like has to know in the back of her mind subconsciously that Sophie's, or at least she feels like Sophie's just with her because of what happened, and that she didn't get married because of Finley, and now she's got this guilt that she has to take care of Finley. And so that's the way she's coping, I think. And I think Sophie should have just like moved on from everybody.
from everybody.
Everybody.
Do you not like Sophie then? I'm kidding.
I
I'm kidding.
like Sophie. I just don't like what she's doing to Finley. But I do. I really love Sophie. I think she's great. And I even kind of like the sort of back and forth that her and Danny had for a while of like, should we get back together? Should we
Mhm.
not? That kind of thing, even though I don't love Danny that much. But I like Sophie a lot. I do. I just don't like Sophie with Finley. I think Finley's better than that. She deserves better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just they seem better suited as friends. They don't seem to have
Mhm.
the romantic chemistry there as much. Um, I think honestly, I think Sophie had more chemistry, even though it seemed like an odd match, had more chemistry with Danny than with Finley. I
Hmm.
think they have more chemistry.
Yeah. I like the when Finley was just like roommates with
Yeah.
them when like Sophie and Finley and Micah were just like together. They seem
Hmm.
like a good just friend group. I don't think
Yes.
it needed to be romantic at all.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. So, but yeah, I like most of the new cast, and yeah, and I'll be curious to see where some of these storylines go. So, we're going to talk about season 3 and what you want to see happen in season 3. So, season 2, some of the cliffhangers where we already said Alice found that engagement ring. She seems extremely freaked out by this. Like, I almost expected her to just walk off the plane.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, oh god, she's gonna run.
I was surprised that didn't happen. And then, of course, you've also got a cliffhanger of Tina showing up at Bet's door, which was the final shot. Was that? And then we've already said um, you've uh, you've got Finley, sorry, going to rehab. You've got something's going on with Tess's mom. I don't know. We don't know what it
She
is
has
necessarily.
Alzheimer's.
I mean, like the phone
Oh,
call
like
that
yeah, the
she
phone call.
got.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
yeah,
not
just
sure
left.
what that is. And then, so those are some of the cliffhangers there that are going on. And I want to say really quickly, there's a shot in the final episode where Finley's like in the street and you hear like a car horn or something. And I thought that was where it was going to end. I thought it was going to be like, oh, was Finley hit by a car?
No. Oh my god,
And then
no.
no, that didn't happen. But I honestly did.
Oh.
I don't know why. I was like, oh, they're going to make it really dramatic. Um, so Aaron, what do you want to see happen in season 3?
I want good things to happen for Finley. I don't care about anybody else. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I do. I want Finley to have a good experience in rehab and to come back and to be happy and independent and tell Sophie that she's had a lovely time, but we're moving on now and just
Had a lovely time.
politely break up with Sophie. Like, thank you so much for getting me into rehab and how we will part ways. Uh,
I had a lovely time.
I
Sorry, I'm just.
this has been lovely. Take care. Bye bye. That's probably an unpopular opinion. I haven't been keeping up on like the internet opinions of any of this. So, um, it is kind of it breaks my heart for Tess and Shane too because I agree. I think they're so great together. I love Tess. She's those two. You're right. Are kind of perfect for each other. There's that
Mhm.
scene whenever they're doing the poker night and they're just like perfectly in sync with each other. I I think they're great, and I really hope that she doesn't leave. Um, I've seen pictures, behind the scenes pictures from season 3 that she's in, so that's a good sign. I'm being hopeful. I really hope that something works out and she doesn't have to leave, and that I don't want Shane to have to go to Vegas with her because that never works out well when somebody moves when they don't want to for someone. That just
Yes.
causes a lot of resentment. So hopefully Tess can stay and they can work it out together, because I love that Shane is kind of like in committed relationships now. Like Shane's all grown up and mature and they're just so good together. But I could also see Shane like opening up another Dana's in Vegas and then like commuting back and forth or something.
Mhm.
Um, that would be acceptable as long as they're together, I guess. And what else do we talk about? Oh, Alice and Tom. God, who knows? Like I said, Alice is probably just going to make it weird somehow.
She's gonna jump off the plane when they're in
God, right.
the.
They're gonna be yeah. It's something crazy. Is gonna happen. Like just something crazy is gonna happen to her. That's just like her thing. Like they're gonna be on the tarmac and she's gonna like open the emergency door to leave or something. I don't know. Um, what else? Was that it? I can't remember.
Well, Tina.
Oh yeah, Tina and Bet. What the hell, Tina? Why? I hope she's there to tell her to like never talk to me again. Like just stay out of it. You're uninvited to the wedding.
Yeah.
Stay out. Yeah, but I'm sure Bet will make some terrible decision and ruin her life and ruin Pippa's life somehow, probably.
Mhm.
Because Pippa seems like a very nice person that probably doesn't deserve Bet either. So I'm sure Bet will blow up her life again and then be all sad and poor me, and everyone will feel bad for her, even though she doesn't deserve it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of predictable with the older cast that they seem to be following the same patterns Bet anyway that she's done before.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I sadly think Tina is there to say that she still loves Bet, and then Bet will probably string her along for a little bit and then dump her or something.
Yeah,
It'll be horrible.
just long
Yeah.
enough to make Carrie go away and make
Yes.
Carrie leave her, and then she won't want her anymore because Carrie doesn't want her. She only wants her because somebody else wants her.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, she'll do that, and then Tina will be left alone, and Bet will be, I don't know, selfish as usual. I just hate her so much. Yeah, I don't foresee that going well, but I do sadly think Tina is there to be like, I'm still in love with you, and I want to give us a second chance, and that kind of thing. I think for for Tess and Shane, I do agree. I don't think anyone should ever move somewhere for someone if they don't want to go. Just like I don't think anyone should ever give up a dream that they have for someone else.
Mhm.
Because, like I've said a million times, I always point to Friends because I think Friends has one of the worst endings in the world because of that. That is horrible. You should never do that because I think in the end you'll end up resenting each other. And plus, you shouldn't make someone do that in order to be with you. And with this, I don't think that's what's going on at all. But so I don't want that to necessarily happen unless she goes there, like you said, to open up another bar, another branch off there. And the thing is that, and we don't realize it, but LA and Las Vegas are so close together, really.
Mm.
And they're not, I mean, people take drives on the weekend from LA and they escape to Las Vegas for the weekend or some, so that happens
Mhm.
all the time. So it's pretty close. I'm not saying like it's an easy drive, but
Right.
and
It's
people
like a 1 hour
fly to,
flight. So yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that's Tess said she's done it before. She's gone there and back in one day
yeah,
driven before, but it wouldn't be great.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, So, but it wouldn't be as bad of a long distance relationship as some other long
Right.
distance relationships could be. I mean, that's not that
Not
long
not
distance.
as long. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I
Or,
think it's,
I feel like they could survive for a while, like 6 months or something, like, she's out there
yeah.
and then she, comes back, gets her mom settled in LA somewhere or something like that.
Yeah. 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 I mean, we'll see what happens there. With Tom and Alice, I don't want Tom to propose. I think it's a little too early in their relationship
Oh,
to
yeah.
propose. That to me, I'm like, Tom, slow down.
Hopefully, that's not even his ring. Maybe he's holding that for somebody.
Ah, maybe. Or somebody else slipped it in there. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, right? And then she's gonna freak out and it's all gonna be okay.
He's gonna be like, that wasn't even for you. What are you
Right.
talking about? Or he accidentally switched jackets with somebody else, though.
Right.
That's stupid.
Just a very, like, yeah, outlandish comedic, scene there about, like, the lost ring.
Yeah, but I want them to stay together. I really am worried what's going to happen if she's just going to break up with him. And I really would like them to be together for longer than just a couple of episodes. I want to see them explore that relationship more, but it's way too early to be proposing. So I hope it is some comedic mishap thing there, and then it all gets worked out and they're all okay and they're fine. Yeah, and I don't want I don't want Finley. I want her to be able to be, I want her to be by herself, maybe, or just explore herself a little bit by herself after she gets out of rehab. And that whole thing and kind of do that. And we forgot Danny was arrested. That was also
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. Good for her though to sticking to her
yes.
guns. Like, yeah, she did the right thing there. It sucks that she got arrested, but yeah,
Yeah.
her dad is awful, and I'm glad
Mhm.
that she didn't testify for him. Probably horrible things are going to happen. She's going to lose all of her money. Gigi's going to have
Yeah.
to take care of her probably, but yeah, good for her for getting arrested. That sounds weird. But
But
yeah,
she stuck up for herself and stood up to her
yes,
dad.
finally. And he was scary when they were fighting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he seems like a scary man.
Yeah. So I'm glad that, but yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I almost completely forgot to
Yes,
mention.
and they were having such a nice night, and they were with
Yes.
Gigi's family, and it was, like, going well, and they, like, accepted her, and that was really
Mhm.
nice that Gigi's mom was like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," and that was really cute, and yeah, that was so dramatic, when she got
It
arrested.
was. It was. So, yeah, yeah. And I want I also want Pippa to be like, "Bye, Bet. See you later. You're not worth it."
Yes. Like, "Thanks for making me famous again. We're
Yeah.
gonna move
I don't need
on."
you. I don't need you anymore. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
I really want her to do that.
yeah,
That would be nice to see.
she doesn't need Bet. She doesn't need Bet the way Bet needs her.
Yeah. Bet. I just
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not a fan of her at all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we still don't have our music for our Finn Six Degrees of Finn
Oh.
Whitrock song. We have those lyrics. We
Oh
just
my
need
god, I cannot
music.
wait.
So somebody needs to do music for this. What I need to do is I need to get with Carla, get some of the lyrics she already has, put a little bit of a sampling out there, see if anybody can help us with this. Because I really want to have this intro song. Carla's
I'm
gonna
so
sing it,
excited.
but I haven't even seen the lyrics, so I don't even know what the lyrics are. I
Oh,
might
me
hate
either.
the lyrics and be like, we're not doing this. But if you want to help us with this, I will give you some merch and you'll get credit. If you want to help us with this song for 6 Degrees of Finn Whitrock, please reach out to us, slide into our DMs. Finn, like I've said, it's okay to show how much you love yourself.
Can Finn sing the song for us?
No,
Please.
Carla has to sing it for us.
Oh, even if Finn wanted to, you'd still make Carla do it.
I don't think
Here's
Finn
your
would want
choice.
to.
Choose Finn or Carla. Who are you gonna pick?
I'm not going to answer that. They can sing it as a duet.
Oh, duet. Yes. That would be so much better. I love this plan.
Yes. I mean, I have heard in interviews Finn Whitrock say he can't sing. So I don't know. So that's why I'm saying he might not
It'll
want
be
to.
fine.
I mean, he was in La La Land, but he didn't sing. So yeah. So I mean, yeah. So come reach out to us. Let us know. You can too, Finn. I mean, I know you've been anonymously submitting some stuff for the 6 Degrees of because you want merch.
Merch
I
with
will
his
give
name
you
on it.
merch. You just have to send us a PO box where you want that to be sent, and I will give that to you for free. Um, but anyway, so it is time to play 6 Degrees of Finn. Now, just like with, there are some people that I figure will always play this. I'm hoping I'm right in saying that Erin is always going to be playing this, that she's part of
Oh,
our
yes.
Finn crew. Okay. I'm like, I know Erin A will always play it. And I know Jen will always play it, and Susie will always play it. Meg will probably always play it too. And Meg also has a personal 6 degrees that she uses too.
That's
So
cheating. That's not fair.
I liked it though. The first time I'm like, yeah, well, she did a regular one and then did a personal one. Eshelle has a personal one too that she used one time. But I'm very happy because I've got another panelist playing for all our Queer as Folk episodes. Not a single other person did it. So I was the only one. So, Erin, what are your 6 degrees of Finn?
Well, first of all, I'm learning that, like, you don't even need 6 degrees because
No.
Finn is in, like, everything. That's why he's our favorite. But, so, I actually only have, like, 3 degrees. So, from the L Word Generation Q, Jacqueline Tabani, Finley, She was in Grimm. She was like one of my favorite characters in Grimm, which is also one of my all-time favorite shows. And also in Grimm was Sasha Ruiz, um, who was the sergeant in Grimm, and he was on 911 with Angela Bassett, who of course is with our Finn in several seasons of American Horror Story. And I was trying to think, have they been in any actual scenes together though? I don't think they've ever actually like been on screen together. I was trying to think back of all the seasons that they were
Oh yeah, yeah, in
on.
Freak Show. Yeah,
Did
she
they?
watches as he dies, standing on
Well,
his ground. She's there happy to see him
that's
drown.
yeah, yeah,
She
but
talks
like
back
that's
to him
not
and
like a
says,
lot of interaction. Like I don't think they've ever like, you know, talked to each other a lot. I mean, that one scene, but yeah, like they've never, I guess their characters have never had like relationship with each other, really. But anyway, yes, that's everything goes back to Finn, right?
everything goes back to Finn. Yes, yes. Well, I mean, yeah, it's true. Like all of these have been really easy, I want to say. And I understand when people don't want to play because they might not be familiar with Finn's work. But if you go look on the IMDb, I'm sure you have seen him in things that you didn't even realize you had seen him in. So yeah. So I had a couple written down. So I'll use this one. Because there's actually two ways to connect. So Leisha Haley, who plays Alice, was in a show called Strangers with Zoe Chow, who was in the amazing movie Long Weekend with Finn. So that's a very quick connection
Nice.
there.
Correct.
You can also use the same actress because she was also in a show called The New Normal, which was one of the few Ryan Murphy flops. And that was a Ryan Murphy show. So, of course, you can connect Finn a million trillion ways through that. And then I'll just also briefly say, I was going to say it, Catherine how do you say her last name? Moaning? Is it
Moning.
Moaning?
I think
Moning?
it's
Okay.
Moning.
She was in the movie Gone with Amanda Seyfried, who was in A Mouthful of Air with Finn. So that's another really quick one. So that was really, really easy. So if you want to play, it's free to enter. And remember, Finn, it's okay if you enter too. If you want to be anonymous, you can listen to a lot of past episodes and you can get different variations on your name.
Use one of your 25 aliases.
Yeah, do that. And submit your guesses, but go over to our beautiful, wonderful website that Aaron A designed. It's a fandomthingpod.com. Click on, it's literally titled 6 Degrees of Finn Whitrock. Click on that page. You'll see the ones for June, which we have Queer as Folk, Orange is the New Black, the movie Moonlight, and then Brokeback Mountain. And once again, go listen to any of our Queer as Folk episodes, and you will get numerous ways to connect Finn to Queer as Folk. Also, a hint again that one of the movies Finn is 1 degree away from. So very easy there. I've given some easy ones. Like I said, free to enter, go there. And then I randomly select someone the first week of July to win June's. And then we'll keep doing this for the foreseeable future. The 6 degrees thing is going to be an ongoing segment. There are going to be some times we're going to have to get creative with it, such as our upcoming Lady Gaga episode, since they've been together in hotel. Their characters were in bed together. So they've been very,
Doesn't
and she brutally murdered my poor Tristan.
Tragic. That's the most tragic thing of that whole season.
That's the most tragic thing of the whole series, period.
How dare you murder Finn?
Well, it was the character, Tristan. I didn't mind Andy dying. I didn't, but Tristan, I loved Tristan. I thought that was brutal and uncalled for. So I'm gonna have to figure out a creative way there because I can't just say connect Finn to Lady Gaga because she'll be like, well, they were in a hotel together. There you
Direct
go.
connections should not count.
No.
Yeah.
No. So I'm trying to, and then also when we do Christian fucking Bale month next January, since they were in a movie together, that's another one because they were in The Big Short. So we'll be talking about that. So it's another one I'll have to get creative on. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get creative on the Lady Gaga one. And there will be some other ones like we're doing, like when we do what we are into episodes, I'm just going to have people try and connect Finn to something that they're into. As long as it's not something he is in.
I am into Finn, all the time.
And then when we eventually have Finn on the show, this will happen. When we eventually have him on, I'm gonna make him connect himself. Well, because I am determined to get him on my Magnolia episode. Somehow that is gonna happen. Because I know he loves that movie. And I don't have anyone else signed up. And so I'm determined to try and get him on there. If you want to come on, Finn, and I know you're 1 degree away from that, because just spoiler for everybody about Magnolia as far as like the connection, if we ever have this as a listener version down the line sometime. Finn was in a stage version of Death of a Salesman with Philip Seymour Hoffman. So, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is in Magnolia. So that's that 1 degree there. So, yeah.
He's connected to everything.
Yes, it's really easy to do this. It's like, it's like as easy as Kevin Bacon is to connect things, the originator of this. So,
can we connect Finn to Kevin Bacon?
I'm sure we can.
I'm going to go that way, not the other way. Yeah.
I'm sure there's
we didn't
like
even try that with the original game.
No. But I'm sure there's a really simple way to do that, because it's pretty easy to connect him to everything we are finding out. So I thought the Queer as Folk one would be hard with some of the actors, but that one was actually really easy. So
yeah.
So yeah, well, thank you for playing along. Like I said, this is going to be a new thing. And once again, we need some music to go along with our intro song. I don't know, maybe I'll end up coming up with the music somehow, finding, rights free music. But let us know if you want to help us. I would love some help with this so we can start having the song on as the intro. I want the song. So, Erin, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. And I know an hour doesn't seem short to some people, but to me, it's very short. And I love having the shorter episodes. And when it's just one person, for editing wise, I love having big panels. But it's nice for my brain to get a little bit of a break.
Short and sweet.
Yes. So, why don't you tell everybody where you can be found?
I can be found on Instagram and Twitter sometimes when I have time to get into the Twitter rabbit hole, at Geek and Sew. That's what I do. I geek and I sew things.
Awesome. And this is Erin. You can follow me on Twitter at eAprilBeauty. The E and the A and the B are capitalized. Be sure to like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/itsafandom-thing-pod. On Twitter at fandom-thing-pod. No it's in that one. On Instagram at itsafandom-thing-pod. On TikTok at itsafandom-thing-pod. If you have any feedback, show notes, if you would like to be a potential interview guest on the show, any of the actors from the L Word, any of the creators from the L Word, anything like that, you're welcome to come on. Even if I trashed your character, doesn't mean I don't like you as an actor.
I love all the actors. To be clear, I love all the actors, even if you have a trash as human character.
Yes, exactly. So, but feel free to reach out to us. Go to our website. It's afandomthingpod.com. Click the contact us button and that'll shoot us an email. Or you can email us directly at itsafandomthingpod@gmail.com. And on our next episode, my podcast brain twin Jen is back to talk about John Waters. We already recorded this episode. It's a ton of fun. And before you listen to that episode, make sure to go check out my streaming bubble and the episode I did with Jen last year covering John Waters. So yeah, and go listen to our Finn Whitrock one too that we did. So I've been on there a couple of times, and we're going to be doing an episode soon, sometime, covering a couple of other things I won't say just to not give it away yet. But yep, and then also next week or coming up, we're going to have 2 live streams next weekend. Just to let you know, we're going to be doing a What We Are Into episode for July. It's going to be dropping in July, but we're going to be recording it in June. So we're going to be recording it last weekend of June. So that's going to be probably Saturday night. And then next Sunday, we're going to be talking about Lady Gaga. So we're going to be doing a live stream for that. And that's how we're wrapping up Pride Month. I'm very excited to talk about that one. So, and that's one that I've allowed an extra panelist on. So I'm happy to talk about it, but I'm going to be regretting all of this later when I'm editing the episode.
Have fun with your 4-hour episode.
I know. But until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter and stop Asian hate. And thank you to anyone who tunes into this later. I forgot that this was Father's Day, honestly. Until later, I was like, oh yeah, it's Father's Day. And all that. So I've totally spaced that out. So anyway, if you tune in later, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Happy Pride. And we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.